for us, everybody knows, of course, everybody talks about tracking products, traceability of products, and what we believe is as a port community that we really need to hyper-connect with the existing infrastructure that we have. And our colleagues of the fruit is passing, you see, successful shipping. Our colleagues from TrakAssure, from Dockflow, are two partners that actually realized to have a very low entry tracking and traceability solution using existing port infrastructure, and that's pretty new, isn't it? So maybe you can elaborate on that.
Hi, Don Miller, board member at TrakAssure. I just wanted to kind of introduce the little sensor. So this is a temperature sensor with 0.1 degree accuracy, and the whole idea was to come up with a temperature compliant solution for all reefer exports. As mentioned earlier, Port of Antwerp has got 1 million TEU, not only last year but the previous year as well, and we see that trend growing. We'd like to address all the shippers and all the 3PLs and anyone who's shipping cargo out of this location, that we can provide a low-cost solution. We're talking, in the range of around $16 in low volumes, and it can even get even lower than that outside of it, where you can actually input these in the cargo. It will monitor the temperature. All you need is a phone app or even just a camera, just to take a picture of the QR code on here, and it automatically pairs to the system, and it logs the data from the load point up until it gets into the port and the terminal, where the gateways at the Port of Antwerp, run by the Things Network, will connect to the sensor and deliver data. We were able to demonstrate in successful tests that we were able to identify three different locations within the port itself of where the container actually passed by, so we actually could see a transit throughout the port. And of course the temperature compliance, and also when the vessel departed. So with things like this, we can obviously make sure that the cargo that leaves this location is always in the best quality possible.
Thanks, Don. And important, of course, is that we share the data, and that's why we also have Dockflow here. So maybe you can elaborate a little bit on what Dockflow does.
Yes, of course, because we see that a lot of parties are always involved in the shipments. So all this data that we gather from carriers, from the sensors, from the whole shipment need to be shared across all these parties, and sometimes person A wants to be accountable or want to get a notification of the temperature, another one wants to get a notification of when the cargo will be delayed, will be departing sooner, and so on. And we have a platform where we combine all this data and send out the right alerts and automations to these kind of people based on all the data that we gather.
Exactly. So what is important, of course, is that we share the data, but we also have very new, thanks to the technology of our colleagues at TrakAssure and Dockflow, we are creating a real control tower, a little bit like an airport control tower, where we actually see in the digital twin of the Port of Antwerp what's happening with all the car that comes in and comes out. That is pretty cool, isn't it, Don?
Well, this little sensor is pretty powerful. It's able to go cross-continent, so you can actually ship to the US, you can ship to Asia with it, you can ship to Latin America, you can ship to Africa. So the fact is that this one thing, as long as you have a supporting gateway in the country, that's where we work. On the TrakAssure side, we have multiple partners in the gateway business, anything from EveryNet to Senet to Helium to the Things Network, where we partner with them in certain gateway instances. But we also allow shippers to install their own infrastructure, and they can actually own their own data across the cold chain. And I think this is kind of a revolution in terms of data and ownership of a visibility lane. We announced yesterday a relationship with KVH Satellite, so that we're able to, on cargo vessels outfitted with KVH, we're able to attach our gateways to their network, and it could allow further monitoring and even live data at sea. And just keep in mind the price point that I mentioned earlier, never previously possible to get that live tracking.
You know what I really like about this is, that Antwerp is a very important port when it comes to Africa. Africa is going to become the Mexico of Europe. It's going to be our back garden. For less than a few $100s, a farm can install a gateway. And for less than, as you said, price point of $16 actually. They can actually also, give visibility as from the farm in Africa all the way up to its markets in Europe. That is really amazing. That's really going to revolutionize, even for Africa, very low entry, to be able to give visibility to customers.
We'd like to thank the Port of Antwerp for giving us this opportunity, because I think it shows Port of Antwerp as an innovator, and we expect many other ports to be following this same metric with reefer export cargoes.
Please go to the Port of Antwerp website also for the digital twin. Maybe Steph, you can say something about the digital twin, and me maybe somewhat, but the Port of Antwerp invested in a digital twin. It sounds a little bit weird, but it's not that weird, because it actually means that all the data that we collect, we can actually operate in that same twin environment and make sure that we do things more efficient, that we use the assets in the port more efficient, and that we are, that's the proof that we are the freshest gateway in Antwerp. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thank
If
you.
you want the personal,